Hi, and welcome to another floral share video. So we're still exploring the element of form. And if you remember, form is just the basic shape of your arrangement. Now we have done a pretty deep dive with triangle, and now we're going to do one that's a little bit different. It's called inverted T. Now I don't want you to confuse inverted T with inverted triangle. Inverted triangle is actually more like this kind of shape where it's very top heavy. This is actually a T shape. It's going to be a vertical with a little bit of horizontal. We get to combine actually two of our videos. I think this will be exciting and really very easy to do. I can't wait to get started. Let's go. So let's start this design out with a proper container. I like a shallow dish, one that is close to the table. I think it really has a lot more strength than using an elevated container. I think the elevated container really makes this seem more like a cross than the actual T that we are trying to create. I've gotten our oasis, it is soaked, and you know I've gone old school and I've taped this really well. I've done a crisscross over to the side because I want to be able to utilize the back part of my oasis as well as the sides here. And I've used the clear because I don't mind having the dish show a little bit on this one. Now to get started, remember it's the three stems, the proper placement, 1, 2, and then 3. This particular arrangement, I don't necessarily want to use the same flower here vertically that I'm using horizontal. So I'm going to create a nice vertical to start. Love the stalk. Please don't think that this is the only flower that I could possibly use. I love stalk, but right now I'm just a little limited with what I can get my hands on. Of course, I love this rich berry color. It's lovely. As always, we're going 1.5 times the size of our container. That's going to put us at about 18 inches. And we're going to be using the back part of our oasis so that I have all of this front area to decorate with. Okay, let's get him straight as can be. Gotta turn him a little bit. There we go, I think that's straight. Yeah. Now to give this a little bit more weight, I'm gonna put one here and then one here. These are gorgeous. And right in front. And what we're trying to do is have a nice vertical line. I don't want this to splay out at all. I want to keep this very, very vertical. And this one's got a little bit of a boo-boo on it. I'm gonna just pick him off. Okay. I think that's right. And I've got this other one. We'll see if I play with him later. All right, so this is interesting. This is called a tinted solidago. Solidago is typically yellow, and what they've done at the growers is they've literally dipped this in dye or paint. And you can see a little bit of the yellow poking out. Really adds for some interesting color. In this case, I'm going to edit this. I don't want all of these pieces. It's a little too heavy. And I might save this for extra later. Now, I don't want this to be an equilateral triangle. I want this to be asymmetrical. I want this to be taller than the sides. So I might even have to pull off a little bit more. Okay. And I am just going to go flush right down on the bottom and push that in. Good. And then the same thing with our other one. Can always save these little pieces for fill in. do a quick measure and a snip, and we'll guide that right in. Okay, I think we are level. I think we're ready to do our focal. Now I have these big, beautiful lilies. They are just fantastic, but if you'll notice, they have a little bit of that pollen right in there, and we don't want that. If you pull out that pollen before it has a chance to oxidize, and oxidize means that it's started to turn orange and release its pollen, and that's what actually stains the lily. You can pluck them out just like that. Easy peasy, it's nice and clean. Now this is an example of one that did stain, and I have some tiny little pieces of pollen that have gotten on the blooms. What I'm going to do is take my chenille stem, fold it in half. This just kind of gives it a little bit more body, and I'm going to not brush it, I'm going to flick the little pollens off to clean them. If you do not have a chenille stem, you could use a paintbrush, or you can even use a little piece of tape and just kind of pat, pat, pat on it. You never want to use water on the pollen because that will set it and then you're done. Okay, this is a gorgeous bloom, but I don't want to use the whole thing. I'm actually going to break this down into pieces. So we'll start with the first large bloom. I'm going to snip it down far. And I'm not going to put my flower back here because I still want to be able to put product in here. I'm bringing it towards the front. Bring him in as far as he'll go. Okay. Now I have this other one that I'm going to bring right in through here. Oh, got a pollen left. Pick him out. Okay, and I did notice that there is just a wee bit of that pollen on there. Okay. And then we have some of these other buds. Now I want you to be mindful about using some of these buds, especially one that's like this, that looks like it's going to start blooming open before this arrangement is done. If I put a bud like this up and through here, when it opens, it's going to open up like this, and then it's going to ruin the whole focal point. If you use something that's closed like this, it's not going to have enough energy to open. So you could get away with doing something that's a little bit tall. I think I'm going to save these little buds for maybe a little bit later and bring them out in through here. I haven't decided yet. But let's move on to our next flower. I think it's going to be Freesia. I love these Freesia. They are gorgeous. They're a little bit delicate, but the color is so strong and so perfect. Now to separate these, what I'm doing is giving these just a little bit of a bounce, because the vibration of the bounce helps separate your flowers. And you can just see how gorgeous that color is. Yummy. So what I'm going to do is bring these right in through here. And I think I'm going to have to give this a little spin so I can see exactly what these little tails are doing. Okay, I'm going to do, I think I can get away with doing at least 2. Try to get them to be the same. And I can tell I already need to move this because he's coming up. So what I'm really trying to do is remember those rules for the horizontal arrangement, the last one that we made. Okay, now that I have that set, I can start building up a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, and again, I have these little tails. I think I'm going to maybe save them. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll just go ahead and use them. Let's get some greens going. I think that's going to be really important to establish some of the line here. And I have my handy dandy all-time favorite that I love to use for my own yard, the sword fern. Having a sword fern bush plant, it just comes in handy so often. I absolutely love it. So this is what we're going to do is, yeah, just really enhance the verticality of this. I'm hoping I've got one more that's a little bit taller. I might not be so lucky. No, he flopped over. I think that's all I'm going to get. Okay. And what I'm trying not to do is, sometimes you have to think about how this plant is growing. There's this slight curvature, and what I have to do is place it into the oasis so that I can, what is the word I'm looking for? Overcome that curvature and make him behave and be straight. Let me see what I've got. I don't want ears or horns, and I feel like I've got two right here that are the same. This one was such a pain to get in there. I think I'll move this one down a little bit. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. Now this I don't mind carrying out through the rest of the arrangement to give it some cohesiveness. And it's just such a delicate little plant. I love it. And if it falls down a little bit, that's fine. That's just kind of what flowers do a little bit. We don't need to have it be so completely rigid. Okay. Now I do have some other flowers that I want to bring in through here. It's some lovely Veronica. Now this Veronica has a lot of texture and a lot of curve. I do need to be a little bit careful about what this guy, the direction that these guys are going to do. They do their own little thing, but I think they're fun. Yeah, we can still be very, very vertical with this. This is fine. And I will give him a spin in just a second. Yeah, I almost like how they're draping over the top of this lily. I think it's giving it kind of some interesting character that it's coming in through there. Okay, let's bring this down. I'm not sure if I can get one up here. Let's see how that looks. Ooh, this one's got a lot of curvature. I find that to be interesting as can be. Okay, and if you notice what I'm doing right here is I'm pushing on the bottom of it because if I try to push from up here, I'm just going to snap it. Okay, let me give this a quick spin to see if I like it. All right, let's see if I can't do this, because I like the idea of having one coming right through here. And that's going to tell that vertical story all the way up, and I think I'll save him once again. Now, I think it's time for a little bit of greenery right in through here to start building, to start hiding our mechanics. Woo, he's a big boy. So what I have here is some variegated pittosporum, this big boy. And for anybody who lives in the south of the US, this stuff just grows in everyone's yard, but we don't get it where I am. So what we're going to do is use these individual little brackets. I'm going to snip a bunch off. And then even this part right in through here can be used towards the back. And the way that this is formed, you can see that there's a little piece here that I could snip, and then I could even snip right in through there. These are fabulous to use. Okay, so I think this is going to come off, and we're going to put him right in through here. And tuck him way down, because I don't really want him to be highlighted. I want him to cover my oasis and some of my stems. I think I hit something, that's why that will go in. So let me give him a snip. Yeah, I had something in the way. And then let's go, can bring this in through here too. I've got another piece to work on the other side. Move that around through here. All right, and the same thing, I'm going to separate these. Okay, I think that's given me a very nice base. And what I want to introduce next is what I think is probably the star of the show, anemones. I love them. And their season of availability, for me anyway, is just so limited. And they are just so stunning. They are gorgeous. Look at this. Just look at that. Oh. They are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And what I want to do is place these right in these little spots here. And I think they are bold enough that they're really going to give us some nice weight. And it's going to give us some really great, great texture. And I think I might have to wire this baby. No, I think I got it. So if I were to wire it, what I would actually have to do is thread a fine wire right through that little hole right there. And it's some delicate work to wire these. Oh, I want to keep that horizontal, I think. No, I'm going to have to wire it. Give me a second. Get some wire and I'll show you exactly how we're going to do this. So all I really need to do is give this part of my stem a little bit of strength. And so I'm going to cut my piece just a little bit longer than that area I'm trying to support. I don't want to wrap this around the stem because the stem is just so delicate, but it does have this little hole. Let me get glasses, I'm ridiculous. So I am just need to There we go. We're just going to thread it right up there. I might have to bend the flower a wee bit to get it to go up. And there. Perfect. Now I can just place him right where I want him and give it just slight bit of pressure into the oasis. Nice, 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 nice. I am going to have to spin this so I can see placement for my next one. Oh yes, okay, so I can see right here where we're just a little off center because I only have 5 blooms and I don't want to use 4, I don't like that. So I'm going to tuck 1 bloom here and then we'll do 1, 2 over here and we'll have the balance that we need without it being perfectly symmetrical. And that's one of the things that we get to talk about later is balancing your asymmetrical arrangements. Because balance is one of the elements for floral design. Okay, let me get this started right over here. I don't want it to be exact. Okay. These are so much fun. Okay, and one last one. Ooh, he is you know, I'm going to cut him down really short because I wanted to tuck him down low. And I'll give him a little spin and show you. Yeah, he's just peeking out down there. That's cute. All right. So now we've got this really great weight. This little guy is just peeking out here. I love it. And I think all we really need to do is maybe add just a little bit of texture right in through here and we might be done. All right, so I want to add a little bit of texture in through here and in through here, but I don't want any heavy greens. And what I have is some lily grass that I've actually bent and stapled. I'll show you exactly how I do that. Okay, so I have my lily grass and I'm just going to make a loop. I'm going to come around and fold it over itself. And I'm going to fold the whole thing. You can see this, I'm just going to press it. And then we're going to take my handy dandy stapler and capture the whole thing. Yeah, there we go, that's fine. Now we're going to snip and we're going to pop him right in here. And what that's going to do is give us some interesting texture without giving us any more weight. I have another one that I had just previously made. I'm going to put him over on this side. Super cute, love it, so cute. And then let me put in some more of our little solidago. Now I don't want to fill this area in too much. I still want it to feel very, very vertical. And I feel like I just did that with that one little piece. Let me bring it down below here. Yeah, I think that makes a little bit more sense. Kind of bring it in between the freesia there. And let's see what we've got going on the other side. All right, let me take a minute, do a quick spin, see what I've got. Because you know this is about the time where I start getting fiddly. I can tell I need a little bit more of the Solidago down below. Yeah, I can tell that we needed to have a little bit more of the Solidago just to kind of, so I could continue to tell the story all the way across this bottom half. I have this couple more pieces of stock, but I don't want to use the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is just kind of give it a little bit of a snap right here. And I want to use this little ball shape right down here at the bottom to give it some needed weight. But I didn't want any more of the tips in there. This is the lovely thing about flowers. You can edit them to make them do what you want them to do. And this has got to go. These wings is driving me crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find something else. Maybe just a stick will do it. Yep, they're going. Ugh. I think what I need it to be is lower. Yeah, that's exactly what it needed to be, is lower. Felt like I was building the memorial to the Air Force. Have you ever seen that? It goes whoosh and whoosh, whoosh. It's gorgeous, but we don't want that in flowers. All right, there we go. All we need to do is finish that back off and we are done. I think maybe we need a stick. Oh, hoorah, stick. Love it. That's what it needed. Okay, so there we go. We have our inverted T. I think it's gorgeous. Carries a lot of strength. It's still romantic and with lots of textures. This would be perfect on an altar. Be perfect maybe in front of a podium, somebody giving a speech. I think there's a lot of versatility in this particular arrangement. I hope you enjoy doing it. See you next time.